Whose Lombok API is not working, create a zip file of your project and send it to me. I'll show you how it works. Whose Lombok API is not working, create a zip file of your project and drop it on my mail ID. Now, we will load your project and try to check. Do it fast. And even I will tell you some of the problems related to that. Send it fast. Whose Lombok API is not working? We'll check it and let you know what is the problem. Did anybody dropped? Lucky, Venkat, Yashwant. You are saying it's not working, so drop your project to me. I'll check it. Not directly working. We can add the internal or external, then it will work. What do you want to say, Lucky? Like what internal, external? Anyhow, you have to add the dependency, right? The solution that you have told to run as Maven install that is working properly. Wait, no, till now I didn't got. Okay, so this is your project. Now we will try to load the same project in our Eclipse and then we will check. So we do need to extract the file. Wait. So this is your project. Who dropped it? Venkat. So at first we will check the dependency. So you have added the Lombok. Okay, fine. In Maven dependency, you are getting the jar file as well. And student class having getter, setter. They are also getting imported from Lombok, and here you do have these private fields sorted in app.java. Where is the error? It's working fine, right? Or it is mine? It's your only, right? LMBK. Yours only. Venkat, it is working fine, right? Where is the error here? Venkat, are you here? So let me tell you few consideration if you are getting some problem while working with Lombok API. Then how it is working? It is working, right? Okay, let me tell you few consideration that you can follow while you are working with Lombok. Okay, if in your system it is showing error, try to wash your systems. Now, let me tell you few consideration that you can follow. Even you project file added also. Okay, now listen here. Because it is working fine. I just loaded whatever you have provided, even my project only you provided. So it's fine. Mine project was this one, Lombok API. I did this one, right? This one. Now, the very first consideration is, or the first problem is downloading external resources disabled. First thing, this is the very first thing, downloading the external resources disabled. For that, you can click on Windows, Preference, and here you can check this Maven section, Window, Preference, Maven. Inside Maven, you will see this download artifact sources, download artifact Java doc, and automatically update Maven project configuration. These three should be ticked here. Apply, apply, and close. If your problem is still not solving, then you can try. So the solution for this is go to Windows, go to Preference, go to Maven, then what you have to do, enable downloading of external source, downloading of external source and Java doc. This is the first problem that you can have. The second problem is update your Maven project. Sometimes there is just a small bug because of IDE. For that, what you have to do, right click on your project, that is LMBK project. I will just right click on this and you will see run as, or at first you will see Maven. In this Maven, what you can do is update project. Select your project, that is LMBK, and just click OK. Now, if it is throwing any error, means there is some problem in your code then. So we will wait till it is getting updated. So there is no problem. We didn't got any error. Now you can check if your error is solved or not. Third thing also you can do. There is a third thing. Run your project as Maven install. Run your project as Maven install. So again, right click and you will see run as Maven install. It may be on the fifth, sixth position, doesn't matter. Just Maven install. And here, if you are getting any error, means again there is a problem in code. You will check. So here one error came. Yes, you need internet also because it will download. Now here it is saying that there is one compilation error. There is one compilation error. And compilation error is in roll number int variable as of type student. So it is giving error on all those things, but at last it is installing the things. Installing the thing means if you are using some external package, then it will be there. Now there can be one more problem, and that problem is annotation processing is disabled. In your Eclipse you have disabled, means you have not disabled, by default it was disabled only, so you have to enable this. For that, same way, window preference Maven, this you will do. After doing this you have to go to annotation processing section. So we will go to Eclipse, Windows, Preference, Maven. Open this Maven. You will see annotation processing. Here it will be disable or experimental or do not automatically. So just configure it to automatically. Annotation processing. Just click on apply and close. And it can be project specific also. For each and every project you might have to do depending upon your Eclipse version. This is one problem. The last, but I think no one will be facing this problem. You can try by installing, try 99% your problem will be solved by these four things. There is 1% chance that still you are facing some problem. In that case, install the Lombok plugin globally in Eclipse if it is available. So this is what you have to do. Now how to do this? Go to help and then install new software. You can click on this and here you can try by searching all available sites and try to write Lombok here. If it is coming, it's not fixed every time that it will come. So it will take some time to load. It is very optional because Eclipse keep on removing some of the links. So here we didn't got Lombok. So no problem. Means Eclipse is not supporting now. Anyhow, same thing will work. You just have to do these four things. Again, I am saying this is optional. Eclipse may or may not support this thing to installing the plugin globally. You can try these four things. 99% chances are there it will be running fine after that. Okay. Do this part. Okay. and do this part initially. Then you can try these annotation processing and all, and it will work. After that, also it is not working. There is very rare problem. Rare problem is that you can have not fixed that you will have or not. That problem is Eclipse version and JDK version are colliding or are not supporting each other for Lombok. This can be a problem that Eclipse and JDK version are not supporting each other. In that case, the configuration is you should be on the Eclipse version 202409 or later. Any version of Eclipse that came after 9th September 2024, any version you can use. For Java, ideal is you can use 21 or 23. Now, if you are not on this configurations, so please stop complaining about the project. The first requirement is these two things. And Eclipse also, you should install Eclipse as this one. Eclipse for Enterprise Web and Java Developer. However, you have installed the Eclipse is only for Java developers. You should install Eclipse for Enterprise Web and Java developers. Rare problem. Okay. This should be your configuration while you are running the projects that I am giving you. Update yourself, then tell me the error. Okay. Now let's come down to JPA repository. Spring Data JPA. This one. Now we have something as CRUD repository. What we have? We have something as CRUD repository. Same like JPA repository. So let's try to check it. So we will say CRUD repository. Again, it is also an interface, works with the type of class, the wrapper class of primary key, also extending the repository, and it also gives you lot of methods like this, like this, like this. I will ask you one question here. Whenever you are going to Flipkart and you are searching something, let's say you searched here for mobiles, it will show you only 24 mobiles on the first page, but total mobiles are 11,189. If you will scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, so there you will get something like this. Second page, then you will get third page, fourth page. What is this concept called? What is this concept called? Pages? No. Yes, pagination. This concept is called pagination. Now that is the only difference between JPA and CRUD repository, which is the main difference. You can work with JPA repository, you can work with CRUD repository. Both are interfaces. Both are interfaces. Both are interfaces. Now, their difference is I will explain clearly, but before that we will do operation using CRUD repository. So the first difference is JPA repository supports pagination. Pagination means showing a smaller portion, showing a smaller portion of a large data set You have a very large data set. JPA repository also supports sorting. Here you can sort the data. Supports sorting. Here you can sort the data. Then why we will use CRUD repository if JPA repository is doing everything? So let's start talking about CRUD repository. And by the way, our JDBC module is about to end. So we'll see framework. These are from starting only, where approaches we discussed, core module, IOC, dependency injection, Spring, beans class, bean creation, bean with XML, bean factory versus expansion, bean life cycle, bean scope, bean wiring, injections, configuration with Java, annotation configuration, component class, component scanning, auto wiring, then Spring Boot, then starters, and then runners in Spring Boot, command line runner and application runner, then JDBC module, where we discussed about JDBC template, data source, row mapper, then JPA, ORM, persistence layer, Hibernate, entity class, JPA, annotations, repository interface that we are discussing now. Now we are just here, out of which we completed most of the things. So CRUD repository, it is CRUD, not CRUD. So now what main is left? Transaction in database, propagation label, pagination, sorting, asynchronous data JPA. Then we will start our MVC module. So hopefully next week we will be starting the MVC module. Okay. We are about to complete the database section using Spring. CRUD repository. So whenever we are opening it in Eclipse, it is provided by which package? Same data JPA. It is same like JPA repository, but you very basic methods. It provides you very basic method. So let's understand what it is. CRUD repository. CRUD repository is an important interface provided by Spring Data JPA to perform the CRUD operation easily on database. CRUD repository interface. So when we are saying that this CRUD repository interface is there, if we check it carefully, just like JPA repository, it is also extending the repository interface. So CRUD repository interface extends the repository interface. Difference we will see them later. We will just see how can we configure or how can we use CRUD repository. So answer comes very simple. At first, we should have one entity class because that is the primary requirement of them. You must have one entity class. What you must have? One entity class. For working with CRUD repository, we must have one entity class. So we will use the same project, right? At first, we must have one entity class. So for that, what we will do, in the dot entity package, create a new entity class. Create a new entity class. You can create any class, doesn't matter. So Spring Data JPA, already we have the project, and here we have this controller. I will delete because this was just for showing you an example. And from the pom.xml file, I will remove the starter of web because it's not needed as of now. We'll just save the file. Now this is the entity package. So inside this we already have one student class. This time I will create one more class, that is book class, or else you can create anything. I will just annotate this class with at the rate of entity. Now if this class is annotated with at the rate of entity, meaning its table will be created in database by Hibernate. I will declare the fields as well, private int book ID or simple ID you can keep. Book ID can be string also, so we should write string. That private string ID, private string ID. Now this is book ID will be unique, so this I will annotate with at the rate of ID. All these annotations are provided by JPA, means Jakarta Persistence API. Then book will be having name as well, private string book name. It will have int price. It will have its author name as well, right? It will have its author name as well. Now we have three string fields here, and if we are not giving any length, so the default length that will come is 255, means 8 bits. So we are not doing any operation here. I will just close it. Now we'll start the main application and table will be created. So here Hibernate has fired a query, create table book ID as we have kept string. So varchar 255 not null, author name again 255. So this is the complete memory and space wastage. We should optimize it. Then how we will optimize? We will give one column annotation. We will give one column annotation. And to this column annotation, we will provide the length. Length will be max to max 8 characters. There will be 8 characters in the length, means ID. ID will have only 8 characters. Book name can have, book name can be of, let's say, 20. 20 is fine. Price is already int. Author name, I will provide some restriction that author name will be of 20 itself. So here we have created one entity. We will start and Hibernate will update the table. So here it has fired the query that alter table book, modify column ID to varchar 8, varchar 20, varchar 20. So it has fired the query. We will go to our database as well. Using the database data JPA and checking the description of book table. So inside this we have A name and B name. What I want as a Java developer, I can understand that it is author name and it is the book name. But database should have some another column. So here I will say column name equals to and name should be a string. In database, B name column will be created as book underscore name. And this author name column, same way. Name equals to again a string, comma separated values. Here I will create author underscore name. Again we will start the main app. Now you are just playing with Java. Database operations are getting done automatically. So here again the book has been modified. We'll check it again. Now you will see something different here. And what is different? Author name and book name is coming, but previous are not removed. We are still getting the A name and the B name. We are still getting the A name and B name. Now that is the only problem with update method. Now what if it is a create method? So we will go to application.properties and there we have database rule set to update. For a moment I will change it to create. Don't do this mistake in the production, right? So we will start the application. So here at first book and student table both are dropped because student is also having the entity annotation. Now if I check the description of book, right now it is good. Price int, ID varchar 8, author name varchar 20, book name varchar 20 and ID is my primary key. Sorted. Database rule again I will change to update as I don't want to create table again and again. So that is how we created our entity class. Okay. This is how our entity class looks. Now in this particular class, we will write the meaning of all the annotation. Entity annotation will convert or will create table for given class using its fields as column. So whatever fields you are defining here, the entity annotation will take those fields ID, B name, price and author name or this A name and convert them to a table column. At the rate of ID annotation, what it does, sets the field as primary key. And there are two things which cannot be null and duplicate. It cannot be null and duplicate. Here, at the rate of column annotation is used to set the length of ID to 8. What is the default? Default equals to 255. If you are not giving any length, Hibernate will say that default is 255. Here also we are doing the same thing, column annotation. So here column annotation is used to set the length of book name or length of book name to 20, and column will be created as book underscore name instead of p name. Same thing applies here also. You can check that. Okay. So that is how we created one entity class here. Okay. Entity class we are having now. So in the next very step, now we will extend the CRUD repository interface. Now we will extend the CRUD. Okay, one more question I am asking here. There is a interface of anything, let's say book, and which is having one method, you can say public void price method, and it's an abstract method, of course. Public void price method. Now there are two different interfaces are there, something like this interface of ABC, which implements the book interface, and we have one more interface, that is interface XYZ, which extends the book interface. Is there any difference between both of them? What is the difference? Huh? Extend keyword and implement keyword. Wow, what a nice observation. That I also can see. What is the working difference? First is wrong. First is wrong. Why? Interface cannot implement each other? No? No. Why? Interface cannot implement each other. ABC we can extend for same. Only extend. The reason? Okay, let's try to do it. We'll just try it. So what I will do, in the repository package, anyhow we have to create an interface. So I will create a new interface as book repository. Book repository. So in this book repository, I will say implements CRUD repository. And as expected, it is throwing error. That why you are trying to implement something. You can't implement. Why we can't implement? The reason is very simple. If this is coming as a question to you, so you don't have to say that keyword is different. No, you have to say this reason. If we are implementing any interface, if you are implementing any interface, then we have to override all its abstract methods. Right or wrong? Right. And interface can't support this. And being an interface, you cannot create all kind of methods. So here we can create default and static methods, right? In interface we can only create default and static methods, so you cannot implement a interface. The reason that you have to override all their methods on implementation. So technically this is a wrong concept, this is a valid concept. Remember this about interfaces. Okay, so in the next step what we will do, now we will extend CRUD repository interface by creating our own book repository interface inside dot repository package. So this is what we will do. So here we don't have to implement, we will extend it. Now CRUD repository has generics attached with it. And how generic works, the first thing you have to tell that whose CRUD repository I am. I am the CRUD repository of a student, employee, or book, whatever. So you are the CRUD repository of book. You are the CRUD repository of book. Means your database operations will be going into the book table. That means this. What is the primary key class, or you can say data type? Here it is string, and you have to write the wrapper class. So here I will write string itself. You can import the book from your package, that is com.jpa.entity.book. So here we have created the book repository. Okay, but this time we are not extending the JPA repository. This time we are extending the CRUD repository. This becomes the highlight here. Now we are extending CRUD repositories also. In the next step, what we will do, inside the service package, we will create one interface for student service. And now this is book service. And now this book service interface will have all the methods inside each other that you want to perform on your table. So inside the services package here, see, remember all these things, because in Spring MVC I will ask all these questions. It is not like that once database is completed these things will be pending, not at all. I will ask all these things. Okay, so it is created. Once this is also created, in the next step, in the book service interface, we can write or we can create abstract methods to perform CRUD operations. Now, here we will create our own methods, abstract methods. For that, how we will create? So, public, you can keep any return type. Boolean I will keep so that we are able to understand. Add book. Here I am creating one method, add book. Then I will create public boolean update book. Update book. Public boolean delete book. And these three at first we will create. Now here how you will add the book. So it will accept one method of type book B. For updating the book also it will accept one object of type book B. For deleting the book also it will accept one object of book B. And here I will create one more thing. I will create one more delete method, that is public boolean delete book by ID. Delete book by ID. And how is the ID of our book? It is of type string. So it will accept that string ID. So you can create multiple methods. You can delete by anything, or we will see that. So interface is created. As of now, I'll just keep this. So here we have created the interface. Now in the last very step, now in the IMPL package, we will create a class to implement the book service interface. Yesterday I gave a question. Remember, how can we track how many classes are extending our class? Book service IMPL. Now, at first, I want Spring to manage the object of this class. So, at the rate of service, because it is a service class. Now, this class should implement the book service interface, and it should override all its method, or you can say it should implement all its methods. Now at first we will try to add the book. For adding the book, we need one method provided by CRUD repository. We need one method provided by CRUD repository, this one, which will be available in book repository interface. Means we should override it, or you can say auto wired it. So here I will say at the rate of auto wired private book repository PR. Now how Spring will manage its object? When this book repository is having any of the stereotype annotation, either repository, service, component, controller. So it is on the repository level. So this we will keep and will move forward. Now here we will create a boolean flag whose Initial value you can keep as false. Now it will return the same flag value. Now here we will try to do something. I will say that BR, which is the repository, and is it providing any save? Yes, it is providing one save method. Once it is saved, I will say flag equals to true. So like this, add book method is done. Now here we can catch the exception, that is exception E. You can print it. The same thing we will do in all the methods. So in update book also same thing we will do. But here we are trying to update. For update, save method will work. Now in deleting the book, here let's check, do we have any delete method? So br dot delete, and we have one delete method. Now delete book by id is also available here. We'll try it, that if it is available. So here I will say br dot delete delete by id. Okay, because this method will accept the string kind of id. So here we have deleted the. Now this is how we have implemented all the method. Read method obviously we will implement later, because every time that is the headache. Now let's come down to main class. We'll close all of these, and one more thing, your entity should have getter setters. So at the rate of data. Now already we are creating the object of student service implementation class. Now what we will do, we will create the object of book service implementation class. So we will write the same thing here, creating the object of book service implementation class, that is book service impl bsi equals to, we will ask it to container. Remember the base package naming convention, otherwise you will get lot of errors. So here we have created the object. Now at first, insertion operation for book. Insertion operation of book. So we'll create, we need the object of book class as well. So it should have at the rate of component annotation as well. Understood why we are writing component? Understood? So Spring is managing its object. Book B1 equals to container dot get bean book dot class. Okay. Now we will set the thing. So I will say B1 dot set id. id is string we have to provide. So I will provide ABC123. This is the book id. B1 dot set book name. Book name is Wings of Fire. Then we will say B1 dot set price. 300. B1 dot set author name. So like this. Now what we will do, we will just say that book service implementation dot add book. B1 book you add in the database. The return type of this method is boolean. So you can accept it or no need. Boolean b equals to, or here you can say boolean flag equals to bsi dot add book. Now if you want you can check as well if flag means if flag is returning true, in that case book added successfully, book added successfully, else operation terminated. Let's start the application. And Hibernate has fired a query here for inserting the book, and we got the message as well that book added successfully. We will check it within our database, that is select asterisk from book. Okay, so book is added successfully. Now let's try to check one thing. I will go to this book service implementation class. Here we are having add book method. There is one save all method as well. Let's say you have 10 books data, but here you have to convert that into a iterable. Do you have the complete knowledge of iterable so that I can use that iterable? Are they from collections? What is iterable? Inter- Interface. Very good. What kind of interface? What it does? Working of iterable. Iterates. One word answers. Okay, let's first complete this part. So here we are able to add the book, and this time we are not using JPA repository. We are currently working with, and I will add one more book. That is book B2 container.getBeans, and here B2, here also B2, here also B2, B2. ID is ABC 234. Book name is, and here we are trying to add the second book. Okay, we are trying to add the second book. So we will start here. And operation terminated. And which part is giving error? Data too long for book name. We have given the length as 20. We should make it book name as 30, and we will start the application again. And this time we are not going with any error, everything is working fine. We'll check our database. So here we got the second big. The author's complete name is Joseph Murphy. Means we got a chance to update it now. What we got? We got a chance to update it. So we'll just comment out this part, and now we will do update operation. Now for updating, you have to provide the complete details of the book. Now you can get it, but as of now we will not get it. We will just use the all previous values itself. So here the author name is Joseph Murphy, and then we will call the same method, means same concept, just method name will be changed. Instead of add book, it will become update book B2. That's it. We will start. And here book is updated successfully. So CRUD repository is also doing the same things. Now let's try deleting a book. So what we will do is same thing again, but this time delete operation of book. Here we have the object, and this time I will not create this object. I just know the ID, that is ABC234. I will try to delete the book by this ID. So here I will mention that I want, or we want to delete book with ID ABC234. ABC234. We will delete book with ID this way. So simple boolean bsi dot delete book by ID, and same ID I will provide as a string. Rest everything is same. So here book is deleted successfully. Okay. Now what we will do, we will go to the student service. Now slowly we will see the use of iterable. Here we have add book method. I will create one more method here, that is public boolean add all book method. Add all book. So here what I am doing, here I have created one add all book methods, and it will not accept any kind of data. It will not accept any kind of data. I will go to this and I will implement this method. So it is getting implemented here, add all book. We will do the same thing. But this time I want to save multiple books at one time, and there is going to be couple of issues here. The first issue that if you are calling this method, you have to give a list of book B. Whenever you are calling this method, now same thing should be available in the service interface also, because we are overriding its method itself. So here I am telling that this add book all book method will accept a list of book B. Now, what you will try to do? You will try to do something like this, that whatever value is coming to you, that is book repository dot save all. And if I'm trying to provide the B list, or you can say book list, and there also you can update it to B list. Now, I will say that save all B list. Like this, we will say that list of book B list and B list. Now, what I will do, I will delete this also. So ABC 123. So deleted successfully, and here our table book is empty. Now we will do something, that storing multiple books at same time. What we will do is storing, and this method will be very helpful while you are working with front end. Storing multiple book at the same time. For that, I will create multiple books. I will create multiple books. For that, at first I will create a list of book list equals to new array list. New array list. So here we have created a empty list. Now you have two options. The first option is you can create books separately. How? Like this. Book B1 equals to container dot get bean book dot class, like this, and you can set its properties. So already we have the first book properties, those only I will use here. So this is the first book with these values. In the list I will add this book B1, or we will do that later. So here this is our first book. The same way I will create the second book as well. This is our second book. Okay. Now in the list I will add both of these books. This I will remove method. List dot add B1 list dot add hope collection framework add method, you know. Now here we have provided the list, and we can just call BSI dot add all books, and list we will provide to it. Return type is again boolean. So here I will say boolean flag equals to same thing. And okay, you can check the same thing of flag. If it is returning true, operation successful, or else operation terminated. Now we will start the program. So here query is fired by Hibernate, book added successfully. We will check the database. Here we are getting only one book. Here we are getting only one book. What is the reason of this? As I have already told you about this problem, right? Shankar is saying yes. So what is the problem, Shankar? Singleton. Yeah, your answers are like one word answer. What if I start teaching using one words? Try to give a, I don't want quick answers. That you should give the answer once I stop speaking. Take your time, but at least give some pain to your fingers to type. What is the problem here? The problem is very simple. At first, we created the object. So actually, we didn't created the object. We asked the object from container that give us the object of book. So you got B1, then these properties got set to the B1. Okay, fine, fine, fine. Then again you asked the object of book from the container. Container will say I am having only one object. Same object it returned to us. And setting the property. So whatever object you are working with at last will be getting stored. Now, problem we know. What is the solution? Yes, what is the solution for this? We have to change the what? Scope. Scope of this book class. So this here I will at first write the scope annotation. And in a scope you have to provide. Now, Shrikar, what is the default scope? Singleton. And if I want to change it, then what should I write? Controller or REST controller? Never trust the options that I am giving. How many times I have said this? So I have changed the object to prototype. Now is it correct? Yes. Prototype. So at first we will delete the book manually. So here we will say delete from book where price equals to 300. So now we don't have any data in our table. Just changed the scope. And now we will start the application again. And this time if you notice Hibernate is firing two insert query instead of one, because both B1 and B2 are two different objects and we got both the books here. Now you understood why scope is important and why we discussed scope at that time. So that is how scope works. But this is the first way of creating the things, right? Yes, we can delete all. Right. Now let's try to create the same method. So this is done. Now in the book service class, here we are deleting book by ID, deleting book by its object. Let's try to create public boolean delete all books method. What we are doing here, delete all books. Now of course we have to implement it. So delete all books, and it will do the same thing like all other methods. Now, in try, I will say br dot delete all, and it does not accept anything. It does not accept anything. Delete all means delete all. Okay, so we'll just start the application here, and at first delete all operation. Nothing, you just have to execute one command for that. Boolean flag equals to book service implementation dot delete all books. That's it. And that if else is same. You know about unary operator? Some unary operators are there, some binary operators are there. Same like we have one ternary operator. Know this? Ternary. So here I will write string message equals to, now you said that you know about it, flag question mark all books deleted colon operation terminated sys out message. Understood this? What I'm doing here? Understood? Very good then. All books deleted. Where? We didn't even started the query. If you didn't understood this message, this command, you can ask. So here we got message that all books deleted. So this ternary operator is the shortcut of writing if else. So here books table is empty now. So we can delete all the books. It's very easy. Now, but it is confusing. Oh, how it is confusing? It is not at all confusing. Ternary condition, true block, false block. It's not block. Let me discuss it. There is nothing hard in this. Ternary operator. It is represented by question mark. So you have to think that at first ternary operator checks one condition. So it will check one condition. Now condition can be anything. Condition can be 2 is equals to 2, 2 is less than 3, 2 is greater than 3. Any condition means it checks for true or false. What is the condition? True or false. So here we will provide our flag value because we know that our flag will have only either true or false value. Then condition, keep the question mark. In the first step you check the condition. Now in the next step, if the condition is true, if the condition is true, then it return something. It return first data or first object or first text or first value, whatever you have written. So here I will say flag question mark. If it is true, means flag is returning true, means CRUD operation is successful, or whatever your message is. It can be a int, string, any kind of value. CRUD operation is successful. Now, this is the first if the condition is true. If the condition is false, if the condition is false, then it returns the second. It returns second data, object, text, or value. Whatever is written second, separated by colon. So here, this is the first value, colon, this is the second value, operation terminated. Whatever the false value is. And in the last step now, as this ternary operator returns the value, so we have to accept the value. Now, whatever is the type of your value, so here the type of value is string. So I will just say string message equals to the same line. That's it. It's so simple. It's not at all confusing. Okay. So that is how ternary operator works. I'll mention it in the documentation. If you are feeling, you can check. So here we have created the delete all methods. Last time when we were adding multiple books, it was getting a very hectic task. Create the object of book, then set the objects. Is there any shortcut method? So yes, there is one shortcut method. What is that? You can create a constructor. Constructor with all the arguments. Constructor with all the arguments. Like constructor is a method which get executed whenever you are running the class object like that. So here I am creating a book constructor which will accept, at first it will accept one string id kind of thing, then it will accept something as b name, which is again string b name, then it will accept something as author name, any other field. Okay, third is int price, so it will accept int price. After accepting all the things, it will just map all the values to class, that is this dot id equals to id, this dot a name equals to a name, this dot price equals to price, this dot book name equals to book name. So like this, here you have created a constructor. Now already we are writing at the rate of data tags, which gives us, Arey guys, just listen, I am also saying now we have all Ux constructor. If I am directly writing that, you will not understand. I know that we have all Ux constructor. Wait. Now again I will try to store the multiple books. So storing multiple books with easy method. So what is that easy method? At first you have to create a list of book list equals to new array list, right? Created. Now when you are creating this array list here, at that time only you can generate students here, because constructor is working. So here I will say new book. What I'm saying here, new book. You know this trick? from collections. Do you know this or not? So here I am creating new book and I will provide all the values in the same way that this book is accepting. At first ID it is accepting. So ID means the first thing as a string I will provide ABC123 first thing. Second argument it is asking for book name, again string, wings, just shortcut I am writing. Third is price, it is int, so we will provide the int value. Then last is author name, so that we have provided. So this is the one book that I have created internally. Now in the same way I can create the second book, third book, fourth book. In the same way you can create the books. And these books, let's say here book 234, mind, just normal values I am writing here 400 and Joseph. Now this is going to be your second data. Now let me tell you it in an easy way. What if I am creating a list of string list equals to new array list with generics. So can I provide string values inside this, or let's do it programmatically only? This I will comment out for a minute. Whenever you are using the collection framework on any type, you can not only create the object, you can actually give the initial values as well. So here you can provide one value. Let's say you will provide as ABC, then you can provide other values. So like that you can provide. You know this? Then ignore it. We'll discuss it tomorrow. So here I am creating a book object directly to match the, you can remove this. Don't think anything about it. So we'll discuss it tomorrow now. So that are all the methods. Same methods are provided by JPA repository also. Even some good kind of methods are provided by JPA repository. So what will be the class flow for tomorrow? We will check the easy way at first, then fetching the data using CRUD repository, then JPA repository benefit. When we are already having CRUD repository, why we use JPA repository? So technically it gives you some extra methods, extra method. It gives you support to your native queries as well as derived queries. However, you are not required to write any query. But if you have a very, what you call, hard and fast wish to write queries only, so here you can write those also. You can write your native queries, means Oracle queries are supported, no HQL is required. MySQL queries are supported. Even you can derive the queries. And then we will see the dedicated difference between JPA and CRUD repository. Then we will see what is propagation level, and then transaction. You know ACID properties. Those who are doing BTech or has done BTech in CSE, your answer should be 110% yes. Where we will discuss about ACID properties, and we'll discuss about sorting and pagination. Generally, pagination will be only visible when you have a front end. So pagination is a topic that we will discuss here but implement in the front end when we are having the front end ready. So this is what we are left with. So 1 2 3 3 4 days, max to max 5 days, then we will start the MVC section. Any question from today's class? Any doubt? Spring data JPA. Fine guys, we'll connect again tomorrow. Bye bye, take care. If you are only doing simple CRUD operations, you are not doing any join or something like that, then CRUD repository is used. If you are doing some extra methods, if you are running some extra queries, then JPA repository. We'll see that in the upcoming class. It depends on the requirement. Okay. Yeah, we can say after 5 days, means next week we will start MVC. Bye guys, take care. You can leave.